To quote the great Howard Cosell, down goes Frazier. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Daily Update. Wow, what a wild day. This is one of the wildest days we've seen in a long time. We had a dramatic sell-off overnight, followed by a huge rally. The Dow got up over 100. The NASDAQ got up almost 100. The S&P was up 10 or 12 points. The Russell was up. And then before you knew it, down they went, and they went way down, and then they came all the way back and got back in positive, and the NASDAQ churned back and forth between negative and positive until it finally gave way late in the day. And the Dow was down about 500, and the S&P was down about 50 points. And boy, it was just, this is showing you what volatility means. And it was interesting because if you were watching the VIX, which we talked about yesterday, the VIX was the key. When the VIX got back towards the unchanged line, the markets rallied a little bit, and then as soon as the VIX started to go down came the markets. And the VIX was just all over the map today, obviously skyrocketing at the end of the day with this heavy volatility. Markets were just really just flying all over the place, and it just bodes for what's likely to come. I mean, if I were going to compare this to a day in the history, I would have to compare it to October 15th of 1987. Now, again, we cannot have another 1987. I don't want anybody to think that because of the circuit breakers and the triggers that they have. But it is interesting how the markets are starting to fall apart here. And you've got all the pundits are continuing to defend the markets. They're all waiting for the earnings tomorrow. Let's start with JP Morgan and the banks. And again, I contend that I don't have any problem saying the earnings are going to be good, but markets are very efficient. They've already priced in good earnings, and I think the guidance is going to be bad. Okay, we've got a lot of major problems out there that nobody wants to deal with. And of course, one of the major problems is President Trump dealing with the Federal Reserve, trying to convince them that they shouldn't be raising rates. And I say, let's abolish the Fed and let the rates trade what they're going to trade. Let them be free instead of having somebody manipulate them. But at the end of the day, the markets look really ugly right here. Okay, I hope you're hedged. It's a great thing to be. And if you're not hedged, then you should get hedged because it's never too late. But you've seen Amazon in bear territory. You've got others in bear territory, Facebook, some indexes. I mean, there's just a lot. Things are just falling apart. And again, we continue to hear people say, well, let's buy the dip. We missed it in January. We missed it in February. Maybe we can get it now. Look, you want to wait until this disaster, this falling knife stops. And I think it's got quite a bit more room to fall. Now, there will be rallies, as we said yesterday. There's going to be big rallies. There's these major spikes. I mean, at one point today, the Dow was trading at like 100-point increments. It was just wild. But again, you want to wait for the right opportunity. This is not the time to be stepping in and buying. Certainly, if there's a stock out there that you really love and it's at a great level you want to buy it, go ahead. But it's always better to be hedged, and you don't have to worry about what happens with the market. In the meantime, gold finally exploded. It got up to that 1220, held, and then boom, got up to almost 1230 before selling somewhere around 1225. Oil, as they punish me some more, continues to get hammered down almost $3 today. So you're seeing a pattern. Now, the dollar was a little bit weak today, and that's another story that you kept hearing in the media. The dollar's weak. Well, the dollar's weak as it's been the last couple of weeks, but it's still above our 95 support level. So I'm not concerned about the dollar. I think the dollar's going to par. I texted it out this morning, and I got news for you. I'm tired of hearing about the program trading. You know, nobody remembers what happened in 1987 and how the market makers did just what the program traders did. You know, it's not what the program traders does, it's how the markets react and what market makers do with it. So let's not keep trying to blame everything on algorithms and program trading. We had the same type of trading as long as I've been in this business. It may be a little faster now because it's computers, but other than that, it's still the same kind of trade. In the meantime, the USDA came out with the report today. I don't know if it was bullish or bearish. I didn't look at it, but I do know that corn and soybeans rallied nicely. Now, a little concern here was wheat. Wheat did rally early, and then it fell apart and closed lower on the day. It's a little bit concerning, so we'll keep an eye on that, but we're still very bullish. The grains in general. Meats were mixed. Cattle, both fats and feeders, were a little bit higher. Hogs were lower today. We'll see what happens, but we're still bullish the entire space there. The general soft commodities were a little bit higher, which is what we would expect in a market that's selling off. Bitcoin got cracked a little bit today. You know, but again, it's holding up above, you know, near that 200-day moving average. So again, I'm not concerned about it. I don't really care about the 200-day moving average. I do care that it is actually held up fairly well, especially based on the carnage that we've seen in the markets here. The Russell continues to get pounded. So again, And just remember, the Russell was the trigger, which we talked about. Rates were a little bit lower today. Why? You had what we call the flight to quality. Okay, I assure you that I think rates will start to go back down again. I mean, the future will start going down again, which will rise rates again. This is the whole thing we've talked about as what would be our black swan event, and that's a 3.5% 10-year and a $97, and I think we're going to get there, and I think it's going to happen rather quickly here. So we'll continue to watch and see what's going on. But again, tomorrow should be very much like today. It could be wild. Okay, and if JP Morgan, if the guidance is bad from Morgan, Wells Fargo, and I think Morgan reports tomorrow, that could really bode for a very ugly day. So be very careful out there. Don't get yourself in too much trouble. Don't try to be overactive. Remember, when markets are real volatile, you can trade less and make more. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Daily Update. Todd Bubba Horowitz, and of course, first of all, I got 2 webinars coming up this Saturday. We're going to have a webinar on trading futures. You can go to the Bubba Trading website and get a link for that. A week from Saturday, we're doing a webinar on hedging. So you can get both those. If you want, they're free. You can come and learn a little bit. And don't forget about our high school program, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Don't forget to catch the Bubba Show every day from 4 to 5 Eastern at LibertyTalk.fm. And of course, there's football tonight. I like the Giants, real poquito, very little. The line went from 3 to 1, which I don't really like at all. So anyways, we like the Giants tonight, very small, for a little pizza and a beer money, pizza and a beer play. We'll see you back here over the weekend with Bubba's Bottom Line, and on Monday back with Bubba's Daily Update. If something crazy happens tomorrow, I'll try to get an update out tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you later.